Well, this was when we went. My mother's family came from this little island that I have a photo of that. I don't know if I showed you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A little island. So during the war in Zara, we lost everything we owned. It was bombed completely. So we had nothing. So we went to this island. My mother, father, and the four of us. But my father was taken away from the Partigiani, the Yugoslavian. What do you call it? He was taken away in a war against his will. Anyway, so my mother's there with the four of us. So I remember my uncle used to make everything that there's not a store you can say, I want milk, I want cheese, everything was produced in the island. So the cheeses they made, and they had these cheese boards. Everything was up in the attic. This hanging from the ceiling, cheese boards. So they made the cheeses, and they put them over there for storage because it was cooler and not refrigeration. So one time I remember my sister Alcia, she was a little rascal, and we were living with them, with my grandmother and my uncles for a while before we found a place to live in the island. So she would, was Alcia?
Marisa,
my third sister. And she was, keep crying for nothing. So we tried to sleep. I said, will you stop crying? What are you crying about? She goes, I don't know. She wants to cry. So my uncle said, if you don't stop crying, I'm going to pick you up and put you on the cheese board.
And did he?
No, he never did, but he said that, and I think then she stopped.
She doesn't eat cheese to this day.
I don't know.
what was that thing where they hoisted you up in the ceiling if you were bad?
Oh yeah. When you go into the kitchen, it was very, very, very like steep, high ceiling.
High ceiling.
Very high ceiling. So they had like a rope with with a seat. And our chair was giving them a hard time. She didn't want to eat. My aunt and uncle were tough. They wanted her to force to eat the soup. They didn't care if we like it or not. You're going to eat the soup. So they said, if you don't stop, you don't eat or something. They threatened us. They said, we're going to get on the seat and we're going to put you up. And they did. And she was over there hanging on the seat. And
Holding
she
on.
was sitting over there like this. That never happened to me. They never did it to me because I was being good. I was good. No, but she's a little tougher. She would complain. Marisa was a crier, but
Mom was smart. Mom was a smart one.
yeah.
She was a diplomatic one.
How about Uncle Ray?
He was a little baby. He was the rascal, but he was too little then,
Do you remember that your sister? Well, she wasn't.
Yeah. You can forget that. Alcia. They put her on this thing. They pull the rope, and then she is just sitting. There's like a swing, that you have to hold down, otherwise you fall down.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, where was my mother? She didn't say anything. They were tough with us, They don't let you get away with anything.
So everything you guys ate, you produced yourself.
Everything was produced, yeah. I used to go sometimes with my aunts and uncle in the field to pick up the grapes, because then we made the wine. And I remember it was a place in town where everybody would use this like a big circle where you put the grapes in and they walk around. Yes, so I didn't do it. I was little, but I would go there and watch what they did to make the wine.
But didn't you make wine with your feet and crush the grapes?
Yeah. You forgot. I forgot. So me and Alcia, they put these grapes in a barrel, and they would make sure we kept our feet clean and put up our dresses, tie up, and pick us up, put it in the barrel to stamp on the grapes. So we started pretty high, and we kept stamping. All of a sudden, come again, as you go down, you can even look outside because you go down, and we were calling, come and get us out. Yeah.
So, how old were you then when you were doing that? 12?
10, maybe, I don't know, I was young. I know we were young. So because when we finally got to Italy, I was 15. So I don't.
You mean the America? You were
I
15.
was,
Yeah.
So I must have been 10, 11 years old. I don't remember, but I was young. So me and Alcea are stamping the graves. It's fun to start.
Yes.
It's fun, but then
You're
after a
feeling-
while,
It gets old.
they walk away,
Old
and
one.
then we're there. Hey, we're coming,
4 hours
guys.
later.
Yeah.
Going down.
But you were born in what place now?
It's right now it's Yugoslavia. It was Italy, Zara, Z-A-R-A. If you look in the map,
Zara.
it's right on the Mediterranean coast, and it's Yugoslavia now. But it used to belong to Italy, because that's who my father came from, his family. So we were all born. When my mother and father got married, they moved to Zara, and we were all born in Zara, right there. Yeah. It's a nice city, yeah.
Then you moved to
And it's
Trieste.
close to the water.
Then you
So
moved
still
to...
Italy? No.
Well, no, that was Italy then.
No.
Italy, yeah.
But Sarah today still.
No, it's
Italy
Zara,
was
they
still-
call, no, it's Zadarna. It's part of Yugoslavia.
Yugoslavia.
Yugoslavia took over. If you have a map, I'll show you.
Now your mom's family's from Trieste area.
No, my father's.
No, your
my-
father's from
my
Zadar.
father is from Zara.
And your mom's family?
My mother's from this island, Unie,
Oh.
which all the family came there.
Ah,
Unie.
okay.
Yeah. And I said, how did you meet each other? So my mother was telling me the story, I remember. My father had a lot of brothers. They were all musical. They were all playing some kind of accordion, guitar. They all had something to play. So they came to this little island. From Zara, they came to the island to visit. And they played in church. My father would play the accordion. He was without ever taking lessons, he was able to play,
Yeah.
and the piano. So they had him
Sì, Sandra-
to play the organ in church, because they knew that he was able to play the organ. So that's how they met. All the brothers, they came on a visit in this island. And then my mother and father met there, and then they got married, they moved to Zara, they got married, and that's the rest of the story.
Your sister.
Yeah.
The rest of the story.
And eventually they moved to Trieste.
Then we moved to Trieste because of what was going on. Zara was being bombed. We used to run to the shelter in the middle of the night. All of a sudden, you're sleeping, all of a sudden you boo, the siren. And my mother and father grabbed us. My brother was a baby, little one. And I was young too, but we'll grab us, pick us up, and run to the shelter. Because when you hear the sound, you better get out of there, because the bomb, if they fall in your house, you're gone, so you don't take chances. We came home hoping that the house was still there, until that stops, and everybody's allowed to go back. It was not easy, not an easy life for my mother and father. It was tough, I know, yeah. But you can't forget that, All of a sudden, you're sleeping, all of a sudden you hear the siren, you gotta run. And
Was it far away?
not too far, everything was walking distance, but I remember my mother was so tired that one day she said to my father, I'm not going anywhere, I'm so tired, I'm not going. That's it, she didn't want to go anymore, it was too much, so we didn't go anywhere. Nothing happened, but, it was risky, because a lot of homes got bombed. So when we moved to the island, my mother and father left us with our uncles and aunts, all four of us, and they took a trip to Zara to see, because when we left Zara, we took whatever we were wearing, nothing. Just maybe a little suitcase, got on the ship, went there. My mother and father decided, said, we would like to go back to the city where we have left everything we own, to see we can recuperate anything, because we had to leave everything, no matter, we had to just go. So guess what? When they came there was no house. The house was bombed.
Wow.
So it's a good thing we got away from it.
Now, which house was this?
In Zara.
In Zara, okay.
The house, we didn't own the house, we were renting a house, but it was gone, yeah. And my father's family, uncles, grandmother, grandfather, they all lived in Zara, next door to us. So my uncles, you could hear them almost every day. they all got together. They were all instrument playing the accordion, the guitar. They were very, very musical, talented, you know. And they never took any lessons. And my father too. I was thinking, I asked my mother. I said, "Did you ever take any lessons?" No. It's just naturally talented.
Wow.
And then, like I said, we moved to the island. They got my father to play the organ in church. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, so we were, you know, not in one situation, so many. And the worst I would say is getting away from the barn when we were little, running to the shop.
So your mother was actually born on that island, Unie?
She was born there.
So she grew up there. She
grew up
she
there.
knew that lifestyle well.
Yeah, I liked it there. It was a nice little island. And then we lived with...
No cars, right?
No, up to
cars.
today,
Wow.
there's no cars.
2013.
Only one little convenience store where whatever you need would be in this one little store.
Do they have internet access there?
Oh yeah. But you know what? My two cousins, Marina and Claudia, they both built one house each in the island. So they go there every summer. They spend at least a month there because it's really a beautiful island. If you see it, the water is so blue. You know, they don't have ships, or they just have the rowboats. That's it. Yeah.
I think I saw they put a McDonald's there.
No, I asked my cousin, why they have any more? They have another store, maybe a little more, because now they're getting a lot of no, it's too
They put a
small.
Walmart in.
Yeah.
That'd be everything.
But they're doing good, the Marina and Clyde. I mean, they take the whole family, grandkids, everybody goes there, which is really, you know, when we got away from my grandmother's house, we were living with them for a while. We rented a house. It was right by the water. The front yard was a little garden, and there was the water. I remember spending most of my life just sitting there in the water, and I was too young to worry about wearing a top. I was like just wearing my underwears because I was too little. I didn't think about it. Then one day I said, I think I better. I noticed I'm getting something. I better get something else on. You know, it just was you don't think about it when you.
Did you like to swim?
Yeah, I love to swim. I learned to swim. That's a good one. I learned to swim. Okay. But Achia didn't know how to swim. So we went it's a molo, you know, molo, it's like a pier.
A pier.
It's a pier nearby. We go to the pier, and Achia didn't know how to swim. And my father said to her, you got to learn how to swim. I can't believe he did that, because he was not the kind that would do that. Picked it up, throws it in the water. And he was ready to jump in with his suit. And then she came up, floating, and she learned how to swim. I said, well, why you do crazy stuff over here? You know, crazy. You don't do that.
It worked.
It worked, but it was, when she didn't come up right away, he was ready to jump in, and then she was okay. I don't think she ever forgot that. But I learned how to swim, so it was right there my day spent, right, look at the beach over there. Yeah. Picking up conchiglia, what do you call it?
Shells.
Shells. So we used to pick up the best shell. Oh, then Livia came over. You know, Livia, my cousin.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they rented a house pretty much close by. So we used to get together and do crazy stuff. We had tomatoes growing, and he had tomatoes. So we used to have tomato fights.
Oh.
How old were you then? How old were you
Sí,
then?
I don't know. Oh, no, I was young, because
12,
She was on the island. She was on the
this is
island.
in the island still, so
12.
13 maybe, I don't know. But he was.
So tell me
he's
about
my
Livia with the
age.
tomatoes.
Yeah, he started it, and he came over and he started throwing tomatoes. So I couldn't defend myself. You know, he started throwing tomatoes. So let me get my own tomato. I'm going to throw back at you. So we tomato fight, because we had lots of tomatoes that they were growing, you know, in the garden.
Yeah, there goes all the food for the winter.
It was a good tomato fight, though.
Yeah.
We're very
Well, he was
young,
a-
but it was a good tomato
It was a good memory.
He's about the same age as you.
I think he's 1 year younger than
Okay.
me. That's all. Yeah.
Is he still alive?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's over in Venezuela.
Venezuela.
That's the one.
We went to
That's,
visit. Would be
Yes.
Melissa.
my
Yeah, Melissa's father.
Melissa's
yeah.
yes.
We
He's your
my
cousin?
first cousin,
cousin,
yeah,
okay.
right.
She's very nice.
So he
Yeah.
was the only one that came to live to the island beside us. over
Yeah.
there. And they rented a house like close to where we were, but the house where we were was really nice because it was right there. You know, it had 2 levels and no
Very good.
bathroom. You have to go in the bathroom outside. If you got to go to the bathroom, you got to go around
Yeah,
the side, you know. Or the other thing would be you take bukaling, they call it.
Let's
A
see.
little potty, and then you have to empty it in the morning.
Just don't use the coffee cup.
And one
Yeah,
coffee cup.
yeah.
Oh, this is pretty dark.
Yeah.
That's not lemon juice.
Cappuccino.
No,
Espresso.
we never did that. No. Oh, but then before we got to the city in Trieste, my parents found a place called Kolonkovac, which was up in the woods and the sticks, and there were a lot of, it was a community of homes. And we were lucky to find a place, and they were all communists, these people, and we were not. So we went to school, and it was a long walk. Me and Achia walking down the steep and going up. And when they tried to talk to my parents about joining them with the community, communists, my parents refused. They said, no, we didn't want to participate. So because the kids that were there found out that my parents were not communists, they were against us. So they would do mean things to me and Achia. We're walking home from school. They started throwing things at us. I don't know, whatever it was, rocks or whatever. So one day I remember we were hiding, you know, with a lot of trees. We were hiding on the side trying to get away from them, just to get home. You know, what are you going to do? Stuff, you know, we have to live with that. Then we finally got out and went back. This was a little bit outskirts of the city.
The city of
Near Trieste.
Trieste,
But then
okay.
we went to the city and lived there, yeah. But in the meantime, that was a bad situation because they were all communists. And these kids only found out through the parents. So they kind of, my parents don't want to join you, that's all. They don't want to be communists. So we had nothing to do, just be careful, you know.
Wow, it's crazy.
Yeah,
Still bullied today.
yeah.